Hey.
You should get scooted a little closer. I can lean on the chair.
Oh, okay. You're over there.
I'm on a
Hey, it's Monday and we didn't miss it this time.
Hey, wait. We still have time to miss it. This video isn't live yet. When in doubt, we could miss it.
We weren't supposed to say video because we're on a podcast.
Oh, yeah,
now.
we do both. Yeah, that's right.
On
We
iTunes,
do
HaveAMarriage.
a podcast. Isn't that amazing?
So
guess
you
what?
don't have to
They're the
watch
same
us.
thing. You don't have to watch us because I'm ugly.
I don't think you would.
Sexy. All right.
All right, today, 140.
140
What
on
are we
the
talking about?
last video on the foundation of marriage. Next
100.
video, we will go to the intermediate medium level of marriage, where we talk about sex the whole time. Just
Baby,
a bunch of sex
you and me.
and other things. Here's the other thing. The last thing in this series. You have to have in the back of your mind all of the time, is this good for my marriage? How is this argument better for our marriage? How is having kids
because it can.
better for our marriage?
Yeah, conflict in these things can be good for the marriage because they deepen your relationship. You guys figure each other out, how you guys are wired, what works. You learn about each other.
And this is a whole paradigm shift.
It really
because
is.
when you're fighting, it's I'm going to win or she's going to win.
Yeah.
Instead of how's the marriage going to win?
Yeah.
Which
how
is
can the marriage win?
Big
How
deal.
can our
How
marriage
is your marriage
benefit?
going to win through this conflict?
And there's compromise. Sometimes one of you backs down, sometimes the other does. Sometimes you find a happy medium.
And nobody wins, but the marriage wins.
But the marriage wins.
And that's important. That's important before you have kids. It's important when you do have kids. It's important when you're raising them. All of that argument and stress with children all has to come down to how does this better our marriage? Because if you guys have a great marriage, your kids will also have a great marriage because they see what you do.
You hope. You pray. And yes.
I'm declaring it.
Yes. Amen and amen. So what does that look like when neither of you win but the marriage wins? This is your topic, so I want you to give an example. What exactly does that mean?
I don't know.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay.
What does that mean? What does that look like?
The marriage wins, but yeah, you put me on the spot.
I did
the marriage wins, but nobody
neither,
wins.
Yeah.
Okay, so I work better if I can think of a conflict, and that's a really hard conflict to think of. So you just get married, and you move into your parents' house because of lack of money, and one person doesn't want to work while the other person is working all of the time. No one's winning in that situation. But the person that doesn't want to work and the person that does want to work gets bittered. And then there's your parents that are getting embittered because you're staying forever, but you know what I mean? And then there's conflict that you want to move out. So then at that moment, the person that doesn't want to get a job will have to go get a job. And then usually if they're staying at, we'll say we're staying at her house, she'll have to deal with all of the dynamics of mom and dad and stepdad, so she is losing. So you are both losing, but by agreeing that the marriage is going to win and moving out of that situation.
So that we can better the marriage later on.
Right. So one of you has to get a job, and the other one has to fight with the parents for independence.
Privacy. Yeah.
So usually that's the case of when you have external family coming in and telling you how to be married.
Oh man,
that's
when a whole other ball wax.
But that's when you kind of both lose. And we grew up this way, that we would go to Christmas at her house, and then next Christmas we'd come to my house, and there would be family arguments and all of that. We're both losing, but we're trying to have a happy marriage. And so eventually when we moved away, we were like, this is the best Christmas ever. We don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to drive anywhere. So when we came back for the marriage, we had to both go to our families and go, we're done. If you want to come see us on Christmas, come and see us. The door's open. We love you. We just want to have those great memories that you created with us as kids.
Yeah.
We want to give that to our kids. And we can't do that if we're traveling to both parents' house on every holiday. That's an example of both losing because you have to have those hard conversations, but the marriage winning because then you actually
you're building a foundation, you're building traditions with your own family, with your own children, between a husband and wife. That was good. Those are good. I need to put you on the spot more often.
Okay, the other one is when you're both shooting each other with paintball. No, I'm just joking.
I would never win.
That's lesson 300 where violence is the answer.
No, violence is never the answer. Never the answer. But
Unless
it does come down
word.
to having to sometimes disappoint other people, which can make you feel like it's not
like
a
it's
win,
a loss.
like it's a loss because you're disappointing other people, whether it's family, whether it's other friends, because you're trying to make the marriage win, and not everybody's going to understand that, and that has to be okay. You have to get over that. That's just the way that it is.
Is this good for my marriage? Is going to the bar after work with the guys, is that good for my marriage? Especially when they're hitting on women and they're married, or when the women are out getting a pedicure or at bunko, or what do you call it, and everyone's bashing on their husband. Is that good for your marriage? Mm-hmm. And so at that moment, you then have to remove yourself from those situations. Nope, dude, I can't go to the bar with you anymore because I'm tired of complaining about your wife all day long. Yeah. Or just have that kind of conversation.
It's not good for my marriage.
It's not good for mine to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found when I've been in those situations is I've always done the opposite. I've always started praising my wife in those situations, and then hopefully I just want to have them change their mind of, well, my wife's really not that bad. But if you get into this negative spiral.
Yeah.
And so that's the whole entire thing of having it in the back of your mind all of the time with all of the decisions that you make. Is this good for my marriage? Mm-hmm. Am I being considerate without my spouse being around?
And am I being a servant to my spouse? Am I serving them in the way that benefits the marriage in general? We're not saying get walked all over, because that's not what we're saying. Sometimes you have to put your foot down for the sake of your marriage,
right?
Which
but
will
that would
be a win.
For the best for your marriage.
Yes, and that will be a win overall. The little things to get there. It's like fighting the little battles that you're not going to win.
That don't matter. The little battles that don't matter.
Yeah.
You know, you can actually just logically go, do I really care about this? And if she gets the win, is she going to feel happy? And is that going to make my marriage happy? Fine. You win. You can hand the win. You could lose just to better your marriage instead of fighting always to win, because you're always fighting for the other person to succeed.
That is definitely a paradigm shift.
And that is the paradigm shift.
To
that
fight
when we
for the
argument,
other person to win.
I'm arguing for her to win.
No,
and she's arguing for me to win. Shush, I'm perfect. And she's arguing for me to win. And that's the best way to reach a compromise, and that's honestly the best way for your marriage to succeed. Mm-hmm. Because you're always fighting for the other person to win. Meaning that you're always trying to get their point of view.
Yeah, and trying to understand exactly where you're coming from. Help me to understand. And I've said that a lot to him. Like, I don't understand what you're saying to me right now. This is what I'm hearing you say.
That's why that's important.
Over and over and over. Say that. This is what I'm hearing you say. And then you'll go, that's not what I mean at all. Let me reword that. Let me try to say that a different way, because I'm trying for the marriage to win.
I'm the most eloquent person that you know. Shoot. Nobody on the podcast can see that stare. What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
All right.
So that's it.
That's the thing. Argue for your spouse to win, and then you'll understand their point of view. There is no point of view guns like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If there was,
that'd be amazing.
That'd be amazing. But you kind of get the idea.
For me, I'm already a woman.
Wow. And she never understands my point of view, so obviously it wouldn't work on her because she's nuts. Okay. We are done with the 100s. We're moving on up to the 200s. And where we're going to talk about having sex and having sex on a regular basis and safe words, because why not? All right. If you haven't been on a date in a while, go to getdatebox.com, which I think they were purchased by someone else. Oh, I forget the name. They were purchased by someone else, but our promo code still works, which is great. It's HaveAMarriage 50 for 50% off of your first date. And they have inside dates and outside dates. So maybe you do two and do an inside date and an outside date.
The same day.
Or just have sex in the backyard. That's inside and outside.
All right, we love you guys. We will see you next Monday. Be sure to message us if you have any questions.
Yes,
we will answer just about anything if we possibly can.
And we keep all of the questions private. So even if we can't answer the question, we will do the research and find the answer and answer the question. If you don't want it to be a topic, just let us know. But even if it is a topic, we'll just say, hey, this one guy at that one time told me about this. And you'll be completely obfuscated. Can't say that word.
What?
Yeah.
Is that the word of the day?
Eloquent.
All right. See ya.
I'm smarter than you.